What's up, vinyl community? This is Drop the Needle Records, and I'm coming at you this week with a special vinyl tag. Dylan over at Noble Records did a summer edition vinyl tag, so I thought I would jump on the train and hit this one up. It kind of appealed to me. But before I get started, if you would, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. It really helps the channel out. I love interacting with everybody. Also, I do YouTube shorts during the week. If that's something that you like to check out, please check that out as well. But let's get right to it. So Dylan over at Noble Records did his summer vinyl tag, so I thought I would jump on this. Always fun to do these. I enjoy doing them. That's how I got my channel started back in early January. So I've been doing this a little over 6 months and I love doing it. But let's get right to it. The first question is an album or song with summer in the title. I'm gonna do a song, and this is Don Henley, Building the Perfect Beast. And of course on there is Boys of Summer. This takes me back to watching MTV videos back when that was the best part of MTV to me. Got me into music on all kinds and all levels. So, I mean, that video is great. Just remember the little kid beating on the drums. I loved it. Number 2 is latest heavy pull. My latest heavy pull was Nirvana In Utero. I was able to pick this up, the OG, on Clear. If you saw my vinyl video on that, talking about how this album is so important to me. Love that I found that. So that is my latest heavy pull. Number 3 is Whack-A-Mole. Mazzy at his channel always does Whack-A-Mole. Haven't got to do one on this channel, so let's get to it. Let's just pick one. This is Pearl Jam Rear View Mirror. This is a Walmart exclusive. Pearl Jam's one of my favorite grunge bands of all time. I think this one's volume 1. So this says 91 to 2003. Few on here: Once, Alive, Jeremy, Rear View Mirror. I mean, if you don't have this and you just want to go on a Pearl Jam purge or just go all out, this is definitely one to do. Number 4 says an album cover with an animal on a cover. Had a lot of albums with this. I try to find an album or answer these questions with albums I haven't talked about yet. So I grabbed ELP or Emerson, Lake and Palmer Tarkus. And if you look, this has like an armadillo on the cover. If you haven't listened to ELP and you like heavy guitars, prog, synthesizers, keyboards, this is definitely one to listen to. I actually started compiling a list of my favorite ELP albums, and this is really far up there. Again, if you like that heavy guitar sound and things like that, they were like one of the best doing it. So check out ELP Tarkus, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Number 5, album with a great story. I have a lot of great stories with music, but I wanted to do this one with my first search for a record when I first started getting into vinyl. I don't know how you guys are, but sometimes I'll get in a fit, or I'll hear a song, could be on the radio, could be just somewhere, and it gets stuck in my head. And this album, this song got stuck in my head. I was listening to, I think, Sirius on the 80s channel, and Dancehall Days got stuck in my head. And I found Point on the Curve by Wang Chung. Dancehall Days got stuck in my head, and I went on a 6-month search for this album. It was one of my first, and I finally found it. And you would have thought I found a $1,000 record. The guy looked at me and was like, "You okay?" I'm like, "I've been looking for this record forever." He goes, "When you find it, it feels good, doesn't it?" And it did. So I wanted to tell that story about my first search for getting back into vinyl. album surprise to see in your collection. Again, I'm trying to show albums I haven't shown on my channel before. I wanted to show a band, and I really love Supertramp. Supertramp Breakfast in America is like their favorite. There's a lot of like 90s bands and things like that that cover their songs or use part of them in their songs. This is great. My next favorite is Crime of the Century. So good. And then finally, Famous Last Words. If you just want to hear a good band, has a great voice, Supertramp is where it's at. Definitely listen to Supertramp. Stream it if you haven't, but highly recommend them. Cheap Heat. Again, I could have gone down this road too, but another prog band. Yes, everybody says Fragile's their favorite. Again, I'm going to do one on Yes eventually too, but Close to the Edge is my favorite. So good. You should be able to get this between $5 and $10 clean. I highly recommend it. Check this album out if you haven't listened. Highly recommend it. Number 8, 45s. I do not have many 45s. I think I showed 45 on one of my videos for my son. He's a huge Young Bucks fan, so I got their soundtrack. But Record Store Day, I got Eminem, Hi, My Name Is Slim Shady, and I got Chris Cornell, Patience. These are great. I mean, I still have these sealed, but I'm not a 45 guy too much, but if I was out and saw like some of my 90s and 80s bands that I loved, I would probably pick them up, but those are my two 45s. Number 9, favorite music doc. Again, if you kind of know my channel, I'm a huge Beastie Boys fan, so I have several favorite docs of them, but the Beastie Boys series on Apple Plus, very, very good. Another one you might not have seen is Awesome, I Effing Shot That. That is a very cool story, a doc that they did on their Hello Nasty tour, which I saw, but they gave fans, they passed out digital cameras, and they had the fans film the whole show, and then they took all that footage and put it into a movie or a DVD. Very, very cool. And finally, last one I like is Cobain Montage of Heck. Just really goes into the mind of Kurt Cobain. I love Kurt. I love Nirvana. If you haven't seen that, I think it's streaming. I'm not sure where, but check that out. Box set. I showed this early on in my channel, but again, I wanted to show it. This is Beastie Boys Check Your Head. Came out reissue of it last year. It's very, very good. I love it. Very, very nice. Got that foil cover, but there's a lot of extras on here on this album. But this is kind of cool if you haven't seen it. But it has just a lot of their instrumentals, has their originals, but remixes and things like that. But if you haven't picked up Beastie Boys Check Your Head box set and you are a Beastie Boys fan, I don't know what you're waiting on. I'm still wanting to get the Ill Communication box set. I haven't picked that up yet. I want to get that as well. I hope to get that down the road for sure. But that is one of my favorite box sets. Next up is Most Trashed in Your Collection. I grabbed two. And I didn't pay much for these, but I got this, the Byrds Greatest Hits. I mean, this cover is trashed. It looks pretty beat up. And then I grabbed this Cars record. Cover looks great. I paid $1 for it. Got the album home. Look how badly warped that is. I didn't check the vinyl. I always check the vinyl. I did it on this one because it was $1. Yeah, so that one's a good one. Okay, let's see. After Most Trashed, local album. So I live in Florida, and a local band here is Creed got their start. Man, I mean, Creed when I was in college was so popular. Then Scott Stapp went down a mental road and alcohol and drugs or prescriptions or whatever. But yeah, they're back on tour. But if you've watched any Instagram videos right now, I guess some fans are getting upset because Scott Stapp's doing Scott Stapp's things and not playing all of his hits. Next up is number 13, Album from a Faraway Land. I had several of these. I thought AC/DC, but you know, that was kind of obvious. But I did Andromeda. They're from Sweden. This is just a great early prog album. This is the Dylan from Noble Records exclusive. This is, trying to pull out the vinyl here. It's on yellow wax. Highly, highly recommend this album. Great, just great guitars, just heavy. If you like prog, definitely get that for sure. Then I grabbed some, it's at number 14, soundtrack. Grab a soundtrack. So I thought I'd show some soundtracks that I have. I don't have a lot of soundtracks, but I like to get soundtracks that represent the movies that I loved when I was young, or now too. But I grabbed Caddyshack, one of my favorite soundtracks ever. Has I'm All Right, which is great. Any Way You Want It, There She Goes. Just really, really good. And it's so clean when I picked that up. Next, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Such a great movie. It's one of my son's favorite movies too. Saw this, had to get that. Next, probably one of my favorite Clint Eastwood movies, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Oh my gosh, Morricone is so good. If you haven't heard this album, definitely, which you probably have. Then had to grab some funk. This is 3 the Hard Way. I love this soundtrack. I love the movie too. I love all the movies in this era. So 3 the Hard Way, great movie. Great soundtrack too. Then of course, one of the best funk albums ever, Shaft. Have to throw in Shaft for sure. Love that movie. Isaac Hayes is fantastic on that album. So that's the soundtrack. Highest recommendation. Again, want to show, I usually show my highest recommendation albums, but a few. Parliament, Mothership Connection. Most people know this, but one of my favorite funk albums ever. We got Billy Squier, Don't Say No. This album is so good. The Stroke is one of my favorite 80s songs. My Kind of Lover, Lonely as the Night. It's such a good album. Next up on that recommendation is Sign of the Time by Prince. Probably my favorite Prince album. Definitely check this out. Very good. Number 16, highest on my want list. I'm going to show the album, but I don't have the album that I want of it. But this is Nirvana's Nevermind. Probably got the best sounding besides the OG, but I want the OG, not the club. I want the OG original. Again, I'm probably going to spend a ton on it, but it said highest on my want list. That's it. My goal is to have all my grunge albums. I want OGs of all of them. So that's the highest. Number 17, channel shout out. I have 2 channel shout outs that I want to do. The Flip Side with JC was the first person who reached out to me when I did this channel, put me in a video, shouted my channel out. He's such a kind soul, always commenting on my videos. If you don't know JC at the Flip Side, please go check his channel out. Number 2 is Concert Buddy. He's been so encouraging as well. He's always reaching out, commenting on my videos. So JC, Chance, I highly thank you so much for what you've done for my channel. I can't thank you all enough. Silver Lining is number 18. People I've met in the vinyl community, people that comment on my videos, love that. That's a silver lining for sure. Number 19, a steal of a deal. Okay, so I'm going to show 3. Steal of a deal. Number 1, Magnum, fully loaded. This is not an original. This is a reissue, but even the reissues are hard to come by. $10. Very highly recommend it. Dylan at Noble Records turned me on to that. Number 2, I had a sealed original of Trouble Man. I opened it because I had to play it. I paid $5 for this, so steal of a deal. And the third one, I got Tears for Fears. If you know, it's hard to find this album anywhere less than 20 bucks. I got it for $1. What's great about this one is this is a South Korean pressing, and it actually has it in this original inner sleeve. And what's kind of cool is if you look at the inner sleeve, in here, it's in either, I don't know which language it is, but it is a Korean pressing. So I had to show that one off. I paid $1 for that. So steal of a deal. I mean, I could have shown albums that I paid full price for and they're worth more now, but that's not really steal of a deal, because, you know. But I definitely would like to know what are some of your steals. I mean, those are the ones that, like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I never find deals like that, right? And then finally, number 20, a promo. So funny story about this, Dylan showed this record at Noble Records on his video, and then like a week later, I got to go in his store, and this is Ripple. This is a funk band. This is fantastic. If you haven't heard Ripple, go and listen. Dylan recommended this, you know, on his channel, so it was kind of cool. I've been there once, and I was able to get this album. So that's my questions. So again, participate. I want to thank the vinyl community for doing that. What are your answers? Comment down below. Let me know. What do you disagree with me? You know, I love that banter back and forth. But again, you know, I've moved into my apartment now. Love making these videos. But vinyl community, until we see each other again, peace.